Welcome back to another edition of the High School Football Webcast. As always, I'm Rich Tiarina along with Alan Troubeau, Rick Cantu here at the Statesman staff. We've got a lot to talk about this week off of last week's action, this week's games. Real quick, guys, big surprise last week in 6 words or less.
6 words or less. McCallum got beat by Austin High in a shutout.
That's a little bit more than 6.
Fredericksburg beating Connolly. Shocking.
That's only 4.
4 words is absolutely great. This week, we've got a special guest. We're going to be talking to Westwood head football coach Anthony Wood. We'll be going over our picks. We have a new overall leader in this week's standings, and a little bit more surprises. Start of district play as well when we come back. Well, guys, it's time to give out game balls and name our player of the week from last week's games. Last week we had a quarterback from Giddings, Brock Fitzhenry, player of the week. I'll give a sneak preview. It's going to be another quarterback this week, but let's start off with game balls. Alan, who do you want to give your game ball to?
Well, there are 2 running backs who I need to mention. That's Keith Daniels of Belton and also Marcus Jackson of Round Rock, who both rushed for over 200 yards. But I got to go with a game ball for the Austin High defense. I mean, shutting out McCallum is a pretty impressive feat, and one that none of us saw coming as we all picked McCallum to win that game. So I'm going with the Austin High defense. There's a football for you.
Right on. So you're giving out 11 game balls.
11 game balls.
Good.
Well, it's a team thing, so we're going to go with 1 game ball for the whole team.
Sure. I'm giving out 1. That's going to be for Bastrop running back Dentry Washington. 217 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an overtime win over Belton. And we've got a quarterback to give our Player of the Week award to. A lot of good candidates. You were actually at the game. Who is it?
We've already said that it's an Austin High player, Austin High quarterback Cameron Jones. He is by far the most deserving of our game balls so far this year. All he did was pass for 140 yards, rush for 114 against a McCallum football team that won their district fairly easily last year. He looked really smooth, and 17-0 over a very good team like that. Cameron Jones is very worthy of our Player of the Week.
What do you think the big difference is from his first game against Westwood, which is a loss, and second game beating Austin High?
Well, a lot of coaches think that the most improvement a player makes is between the first and second weeks. And in his case, it just seems like he learned the offense better. He knew the plays better. The people running better routes.
Mm-hmm.
He was seeing the field better.
Maybe he played a defense that wasn't as good as well.
It could be, but McCallum does have a very good defense, and Rodney Vincent is very proud of him for what he was able to do in such a short period of time.
Sounds great. All right, well, when we get back, we're going to talk about the start of district play. Well, guys, we've already been mentioning the big loss last week, McCallum losing to Austin High. This week, the start of 17-4A play. I'm going to start with a quick poll, quick trivia question. Out of 8 teams last week, what was the only District 17-4A team to win?
Travis?
That's actually right. I didn't think you would get it. Yeah. So anyway, so start of district play this week. We've got a couple of good district games Thursday night to kick things off real quick. McCallum Lanier, LBJ Crockett. McCallum loses last week. Should the Knights be worried through district play?
No, the Knights should not be worried at all. They rolled through the district last year. I think they're going to do it again. You're talking about the strongest team in the district by far. They played an Austin High team. It's a 5A team, a team with playoff aspirations. So, no, they shouldn't be worried at all.
Concerned that they were shut out at least?
I don't think so, because they're going back to 4A, and they have not lost a 4A game. They haven't lost a district game in 2 years.
Yeah.
So 10-0 in the last 2 years, make it 11-0. You may as well. It's not going to be that big a contest.
I know the starting quarterback was hurt during the game. What happened, and what do you know what his status is?
Yeah, Kevin Luston is a very good quarterback for McCallum, and he was tackled pretty hard on one play, and he said he hurt a pop in his right ankle, and his biggest fear was that he was going to be out for the year. In fact, as soon as he got hurt, he hit the turf with his helmet because he thought, oh no, that this might be it. But in actuality, he went and got X-rays the next day, and they found no fractures. They found an upper ankle sprain that will probably keep him out for 1 game, possibly 2, but he thinks he's just going to miss this 1 game.
Those are lingering, though, those upper ankle sprains.
Yeah. All right, well, a couple of weeks ago, we went over our district picks through the first 2 games of the season. District play is about to start here in this district. Who are your top 3 picks to win district and make the playoffs out of there?
I'm going McCallum Lanier with their passing game, and then LBJ Those are my top three. LBJ made the playoffs last year. I think they're going to sneak in there again.
Yeah, actually, I like the same 3 teams. So, how about you?
I like, in order, McCallum, Maynard, LBJ.
Ooh, Maynard.
Maynard, huh?
Maynard. They have the horses.
On that
The
note,
Mustangs
They
have
made the
horses.
Mustangs.
That's great.
on that
Mustangs are in town.
yeah, on that note, we're going to go graze to the pastures, and we'll come back and visit with Anthony Wood for a little bit.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to week 2 of our Central Texas webcast. Today we have a special guest from Westwood High School. It's Anthony Wood, and he is now in his 2nd year as head coach of the Warriors. And I know he's already thinking this is going to be a better year than last year, Coach. Not off to a great start last year, but off to a very good start this year. 28-21 over Austin High 2 weeks ago, your very first game. How big was that for your players and for yourself?
You know, it was a big program win. You know, coming off only a 2-win season last year, you preach all spring long about doing the right things, being positive, lifting weights, running, staying motivated into our program, and good things will happen. And to make those kids believe, you have to come up with victories every now and then, and to come up with a victory over what was in the 24th ranked team in the state.
A very good team.
Yeah, very, very good football team. Really catapulted our program.
Big news this week is you have one of the best games in town this week. You're playing at the Palace against Lake Travis, and we know what Lake Travis can do. They had a tough time against Westlake last week, but they've got some awfully good players over there.
They're a very, very good football team. Probably one of the best coached football teams I think that we'll face this year. They get the most out of their players. Their program is where we want our program to be. Their kids walk out onto the field and they expect to win. And that's our motto. When we walk out on the field, I want our kids to expect to win. Right now, that's what Lake Travis does. And again, we can come out Friday night and win this one. That'll be a very, very good win for our program.
And of course, Jeff Dykus is their coach, and he's done an outstanding job in a short period of time. When your offense gets rolling, you start with the quarterback. His name is Chase Rich.
Correct.
And you've got high expectations for him because he played well last year, if I'm not mistaken.
He really did. You know, in 9 ball games last year, he threw for right at about 2,400 yards. He's a guy that is a leader. He wants the ball in his hands. He wants to be the best at everything he does. He's a heck of a pitcher on the baseball team. He throws a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. He's the guy that dishes the ball all around the field.
And you've got one outstanding, well, probably more than one, but one super outstanding defensive player, Richard Havens. 168 tackles in his junior year. That's an amazing number for any league.
Well, you know, you can look at that 2 ways. You know, if your free safety's making 168 tackles, someone else isn't making the tackles up front. But Richard's a guy that is a solid tackler, is a very aggressive player, and I've made the comment on more than one occasion, I'd hate to be a receiver running in front of him. And 2 weeks ago against Austin High, those receivers figured that out. But Richard is a Division I player all the way.
You showed a little bit of a new wrinkle the other day, or a couple weeks ago, with the running game. Andy Stockberger ran 31 times, which is very unheard of as far as your teams or your passing teams.
Right, and that's true. You know, we like to throw the ball. We figure that's the best way for us to have success. But our Andy Stockberger added about 15 pounds to his frame this spring. Added some speed. Very powerful, strong runner. And it was something that was, you know, they were giving it to us. Andy was rolling off about 5 yards a pop, and it was all we could do was just to hand it off to him, and we were pretty successful behind our big offensive line.
And you did mention the big offensive line with Trevor Marangelli at left tackle, 275 pounds. He's obviously a good player.
He is. Our whole offensive line, we've got a great offensive line coach and Coach Luke, and our offensive line, they're gelling together, and they're really going to be the part of our offense that takes us pretty far.
Coach, thank you for being here.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Best of luck, and this guy's going places. So look for the Westwood Warriors to make a big leap this year.
Thank you.
Well, guys, we have Anthony Wood talking about his quarterback, Chase Rich. It's one of the 3 games that we want to be picking this week for our high school picks. And we should probably start off by saying that we have a new leader overall. I led last week, and someone overtook the lead, now leading by 6 games heading into the week 2 of the high school season. And the new leader is Alan Trudeau.
Yes, not only did I take on YouTube, but I believe that I picked better than everyone who picked games this week. What was it, 225?
Yeah, more than 200 pickers on statesman.com each week, and you came out on top. So
just to rub it in everybody's faces, I brought a little hat for myself. I think I'm gonna the king of Central Texas Pick'em.
Yeah, and we've been referring to him as his true bonus all day. So here we go.
But I am the only one that got Austin High right. Austin High beat McCallum. These 2 guys picked McCallum. So all you Austin High readers, viewers out there, I'm your man.
We've got 3 games to go over this week. We wanted to start off, we were just talking about Chase Rich with Coach Wood. Battle of the quarterbacks. Last week was Battle of the Lakes. This week, Battle of the quarterbacks, Chase Rich versus Garrett Gilbert. Over under 600 passing yards for this game.
600? Slightly under.
Slightly over.
I'll go right at 600.
There you go.
First game, Lake Travis Westwood. Who's your pick there and why?
Westwood. Upset. Well, a mild upset. I don't know if you call it an upset, but Lake Travis has had more publicity lately. I like their offensive line. They average about 260 across the line. I think they'll wear them down.
Very possible. I'm going to go with Lake Travis, though. I like the offense. I'm enamored with the season they've had so far. Nice opening season, opening week win over Texas City. And I'll go with Lake Travis.
And a blowout against them, against Westlake, so I don't understand your process there.
Well, I think the fact that they didn't show up very well last week makes them play better this week. So we'll see how they do.
I'm also going to go with Lake Travis. Coach Wood, go ahead and use that as a motivation if you want to. People just don't realize how good Garrett Gilbert is, how accurate he is. He had about 10 drop balls against Westlake by his receivers, and I just think that they're going to play a little bit better against this 5A opponent than they did last time. But Garrett Gilbert and Lake Travis, they're going to pull off the upset. I think that's an upset.
It's a great matchup, but probably the best matchup is a game that's not even going to be played here, but it's Westlake at A&M Consolidated, 2 state-ranked teams. Who do you like there?
Personally, I like Westlake. I think they've got more people, more depth, more weapons. They got a fantastic offensive line. It's going to be interesting to see how they do on the road. Nick Foles has had 2 good games at quarterback right now, but A&M Consolidated, they came in here and they beat a very good Leander team at Leander, and I wouldn't be surprised if this one really goes down to the wire, but I like Westlake.
How about you, Alan?
I'm
sorry, your true bonus.
Thank you. I'm going with A&M Consolidated. They've run through 14 5A, and now I think that they're going to run through Westlake. They've been able to tear apart Central Texas football right now, unfortunately, early on. So I'm going to go with A&M Consolidated.
They beat Leander with a last-minute field goal. I don't know if they're just tearing up Central Texas. Beat them in a last-second field goal.
I'm siding with Rick. I think Westlake wins this game on the road. I'm going to go with defense as the reason. They held Lake Travis to a couple of touchdowns. And that spread open offense that they've got, I think they go up to College Station, pull off the win. It's a golden opportunity for them to move up in the state polls.
Maybe a chance for you guys to move up in the pick'em.
Speaking of which, you can get online, pick against his true bonus, and Rick and I, along with the other 200-plus pickers from last week. It's statesman.com/pick'em.
What about one more game? How about let's just pick one more game?
Okay.
Let's pick that McNeil Bowie game.
McNeil Bowie.
McNeil Bowie.
McNeil Bowie. I mean, you're talking about these other games being good games. This has the potential to be the closest game of the weekend.
Where's it being played at?
It's being played at Burger Stadium.
Then I will go with Bowie.
I'm going with Bowie.
Wow.
And you love.
I actually have a secret reason why I'm picking Bowie, but who do you're liking McNeil in this one?
What is that? That you like being wrong? Anyway, no, absolutely. I'm going with McNeil. My logic has not failed me yet. The Williamson County teams are beating the Austin teams.
Here's my secret. McNeil beat Temple last week by a touchdown. And I think strength of schedule, that tells me that maybe Bowie, which scored 20 points against Round Rock in a high school game there at home, gave up 35. I'm going to go with Bowie. That's who I'm going with.
And Temple has lost 17 games in a row.
very
if they
easy
can-
to see
if
why
they
I'm
can
on top of the
barely beat
standings.
Temple, then Bowie's going to run all over them.
So there you go. We'll find out how we did
Maybe
next
not
week.
roll all over them. It's going to be a close game.
We'll find out next week how we do on those. Remember, statesman.com/pick'em and match your wits against ours and his.
Alan, you've got a big head.
I always knew that.